You are listening to Venus Rose, interactive spiritual Q&A and the power of sound.
Music is like sunshine.
Hello, conscious souls. How are you feeling? June is here. The energy of the sun radiates from the zodiac sign of Gemini. It is the sign of mutable air. The mind is in the focus. Talking, exchanging thoughts are highlighted. Before I dive more deeper into this, I'd like to tell everybody who's not so deep into astrology that on June 9th there is a beautiful conjunction, which means a meeting takes place in the cosmos from Venus and Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. It exudes positive energy. Venus stands for values, love, and abundance, and Jupiter expands everything he comes in contact with. Cancer is the sign they both have their meeting in, is cardinal water, and is all about emotions. Since Jupiter stands for luck, I want to emphasize on the positive and chime in with astrologers who are saying that this conjunction is one that brings positive possibilities, and one should focus on how we can use this light-hearted energy to manifest what helps us going forward. Communication with oneself is something that is going on for every one of us constantly. Our brains are simply wired that way. Science tries to narrow it down from at least 6,000 is up to 80,000 thoughts a day, when in truth you are not able to measure how an individual is processing things, hence not truly able to say how many thoughts someone has. In the spiritual community, many people still think meditation is about not thinking at all. I remember myself as I started to try out meditation, I was frustrated because my mind was not easy to tame, so to speak. And when I learned later on that the thoughts are welcomed, only that we don't get attached to them, agitated, or rolled up in a mental loop that are not the easiest to get out from, I made progress. Calming down the mind is not only helpful, but necessary in today's world where everything is so fast and trying to get our attention. Our brains function more like antennas of radio receivers. They are constantly processing information, whether we are conscious about it or not. I don't want to go into the different brain waves and their specific states. You can do your own research if you want to find out more about this. My question for today is, how do you communicate with yourself? Do you have loving thoughts and compassion for yourself? We all know how easy it is to fall into the blame game in our mind. One of the main things I talk about with people who are in a one-on-one session with me is the negative thought process that we are all involved in, and most of the time don't even realize that we are, because we've learned it from the ones who raised us and are so used to it. In certain fields of psychology, you talk about so-called subpersonalities. Those are modes of the psyche that rule in your subconscious, or how I love to say, superconscious mind. It would be a whole episode in itself to talk about those, and I will one day for sure, because they are an essential part of my energy work. In last week's episode, we talked about the inner child, the most known one of the sub-personalities, and the role it plays for us. Today I want to mention the inner critic. Everyone knows and has conversed with. The voice in your head that has critical thoughts about anything you do and loves to judge. Most of the time, it is a fear-based energy that was handed down from the ancestral lineages, one part from the maternal lineage, one from the paternal side, oftentimes similar, and then they even reinforce each other. Yes, we often think about parents or grandparents in general, but the core issues for families often go several generations back. Things can vary. When scarcity is a theme in a lineage, which is very often the case, since there have been many wars fought on Earth, leaving people not only poor, but also starving. Comments from the frightened inner critic show up in concern of these themes in your brain. They help to increase tension in your nervous system. Another example can also be that a certain appearance was favorable in your lineage, so the critic will come out when anything about optics is a topic somehow. Now is the time, at the dawn of the age of Aquarius, where consciousness is rising, that people want to evolve and focus on better health. These ancestral themes flare up and want to be looked at. And the brave ones who are bold enough to work through it release not only themselves from terrorizing thoughts, but help the future generations as well. Even if you do not have kids on your own, if you solve stuff for yourself, you help the uncles, nieces, and other family members as well. You are manifesting a signal, holding the torch so there is more light in the dark. In every family lineage are secrets buried that want to be acknowledged, forgiven, talked about, and be seen, so that the energy can be transcended. Once this is done, there is more flow, not so much energy that needs to be held in the mind or in the body, that holds the potential for a depression or a disease. Blockages can be released, and there is more room for positive energy. More power can be generated to be used for a forward momentum in your life. Yesterday, I listened to Greg Braden, a former geologist and spiritual teacher who talked about how powerful our heart is. He often speaks about how science is slowly catching up with things that are already written in various ancient texts around the globe. It has been discovered that the heart also has glial cells that were only found inside the brain in older researches. There are even 3 different types of glial cells within the heart. One of them, the cardiac nexus glia, was only found recently. Yes, our heart has functions like our brain, besides pumping blood through our veins. It holds memories, old memories, sometimes soul memories. Our heart is able to remember things that are dear to us, even if our brains forget. Sometimes when your heart reacts and your mind does not know why, maybe it remembers someone you have once loved. The heart-brain coherence might be something you have heard about. When you bring your thoughts and emotions into harmony, or on another level, the cell groups vibe in the same frequency. When this state of being is in mode, your energy field expands further, and you tap into your own personal divinity. Greg Braden said it so beautifully. It is not about redemption, it is about remembrance. I would suggest at least try to make a small pause once during the day, whenever it may fit for you, and take a deep breath in and exhale out longer. Put your hand on your heart and feel how it moves. It is our choice to make, to take on the responsibility that comes along with it. Let the chatter of your mind subside for a second and synchronize your heart with your brain. And remember that you are divine. I have a soundbite on my YouTube channel named Crystal Seraphim Sounds, especially for the heart. Check it out if you like. I'll leave the link down below in the show notes. Always do I love to hear from you. Gemini energy is still chatting. Communication is still the key. You can leave questions in the comments of my YouTube channel named Crystal Seraphim Sounds or my Instagram. For those of you who do not have social media and love to send questions or would like to book a one-on-one session to go on a soul sound journey with me, send me an email for further details. You can find everything in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in with your heart.
It's the one who guides us
I wish you a beautiful weekend. Love to you all. Rose.